Hello, family members. I'm not very with it today, but what else is new? But I've had something that I've been thinking on that I just kind of needed to talk about, so here we are. um, I was watching this, I guess documentary. Well, no, yeah, I guess it was. It's a documentary. Is the best way to talk about it, by Kaylin Conrad, a YouTuber. Um, about um, it's called "What Is a Groomer," but that doesn't really. What it is about homophobia, essentially, and transphobia and anti-queer bigotry of multiple kinds. And in the video, they talk about this concept of being marked. There's certain characteristics that take a human being from being unmarked, aka normal, to marked. And then when a person is marked, and then people who are unmarked see them as is spectacle, as um, inviting people to pay attention to them, and that once you have this level of being marked, that people um become disproportionately interested in you because it draws attention to you. And of course they were talking about that in the context of being gay or trans, but it occurred to me that this very perfectly explained the absolute anger and the absolute entitlement of mostly guys who comment on every single high profile or even low profile woman with you know any amount of body fat beyond what they think is acceptable. uh the way that they comment so angrily, or so entitled to our time and our space. And I mean, it's a common thing that you see. Like, you'll see, say, a reel of a plus size woman working out, and you're gonna get a ton of men, mostly. I don't want to say that they're all men, but it seems like it to me that the vast majority are men. They're going to come in and say something to the effect of, stop promoting obesity. And it's just such a strange comment when you think about it, because what you're doing is you're showing someone who's plus size working out. In what way is that promoting anything other than being physically fit, which these people should like, right? But in the context of this marked concept, I get it. What it is they believe, these commenters, that that woman has chosen to mark herself, chosen to, put herself into a position where she's visible in a public space, and therefore she has invited their intention. And there's this, like, idea that a person who is overweight chooses to be overweight. And it's really, really important for these people to believe that, because they need to believe that we've chosen to be marked, and that we simply have a choice to stop being marked at any time, and that we're defying what they know to be the right thing to do, that we're defying our call to action to hate our bodies and to starve ourselves. And it's very absurd, because if you are a plus size woman, I doubt that you chose to be a plus size woman, like actively chose it, you know? Like, for example, in my case, I've actively chosen not to be a plus size woman on multiple occasions, and it didn't matter, you know? Like, most recent example, when I was on chemo, I'd lost a ton of weight because my spleen had blossomed to the size, 3 times the size it should have been, and was taking up all the room in my abdomen, and I had no room in my belly to eat food. And so I was literally starving to death. And so I lost a ton of weight. And I was very determined from the beginning. I made a conscious choice that I wasn't going to gain that weight back. And so I couldn't really work out much while I was on chemo, but I did chair yoga. I tried to be as active as I could, and I tried to be careful about what I ate. And when I got off chemo, I quickly got my stamina back so that I could run all over Disney World because I got my annual pass. And I was hiking like 7 days a week, and I, wasn't eating badly. I'm the kind of person, or I used to be the kind of person before all this started, where I would have salads for snacks. I haven't drunk pop since for like 15 years, okay? I don't do caffeine, I don't drink alcohol, you know, I a lot of healthy food choices were made during this period too. And I gained the weight back because science proves over and over again, once you create the adipose tissue, it doesn't go away. It just shrinks or expands. And so you can lose all the weight, but most likely, if you do, it's going to come back. Even if you work hard to keep it from coming back, because you're just predisposed, once you've been plus size once, to be plus size again. And I mean, the first time that I consciously decided to not be a plus size woman, I joined Weight Watchers when I was in high school. I was a child, okay? Like, my entire adult life, I've been very cognizant of health and fitness. And sometimes I've worked towards it more than others. But I've made that choice multiple times, and it does not matter. I can't just choose not to be plus size. I just can't. It didn't work that way. And almost every plus size person that you see, male or female, same thing. They didn't choose it. They don't want it. But that we have these people who look at us and get angry that we've chosen to mark ourselves, to be different than everyone else and defy society. And it's like, that is not what's going on here at all. It's just not. Like, I'm not obese because I want to bring attention to myself, okay? I wear ridiculous clothes and have crazy tattoos, and I used to have all of my piercings in and everything because I wanted to bring attention to myself. There were reasons. There were things that I chose to do to mark myself, but my body weight is not one of those things. And it just, after hearing them explain that concept about being marked, I'm like, oh, I get these bigots now. I get it. I mean, I think it's still ghoulish and terrible and ignorant, But I get it. Like, I understand why it is that they're just so angry and why they feel so empowered to just shit over any woman who dares to be plus size and in some sort of public capacity. And by the way, it's not like we have much choice about being in public, like most people have to go outside to work, or go to school or go to the doctor, grocery store, or, just go out and have a nice time with your friends and family. And we have to do it in a world that's literally not made to fit us. You know, I I went to a play with my mother's cousin down in Cocoa Village at this cute little theater, and I could not enjoy it because the seats were too small and they pinched my booty, you know? And oh gosh, public transit is such a pain because if you're sitting down, my booty's gonna take up more than a standard seat. And instead of being like sympathetic to the fact that uh, the seating area that is given to us in transit is too small, people are going to look at me with dirty looks. So they wish that I would just go away. They wish I wouldn't exist, you know? Because I have marked myself and made myself inconvenient to them. And they see it as a conscious choice, you know? And it's just so absurd to think that plus size people, especially plus size women, choose to be plus size women, that by our very existence, we're promoting anything, you know. I'm not promoting anything just by existing. Now, there are things that I do actively promote, but my existence is not the way that I do that, uh, I may openly talk about being an aromantic, asexual, pan-oriented woman, But I don't know. It's so strange to me, right? And it is hard enough being a woman online because there's all these dude bros who want to look at our very existence as being politicized. Same thing with any minority. If a black person exists in something, that makes it political. And it's just like, why is it that you believe that just existing as a minority is a political thing, but you don't think existing as a white male or just a white person in general is also a political thing then? There's no such thing as a default. That's why they hate the word cis, too. They hate the word cis because it implies that they're not the default, that not everybody is just cis, and that there's something needed to distinguish between them and trans people. And they don't want that. They want everybody to be something they can understand, and that's just not going to happen. There are people who live their lives in ways that I do not understand, and that's great. That's a good thing. Okay? Like, there's a lot of benefit to variety in society. Like, I think people forget this, but we're social animals. Humans are social animals, which means that we are, as a collective, a certain way, because being that way benefits us as a collective. That's why it's good that we have, say, autistic people, because the way that autistic people look at things is different than people who are not autistic. And you need people who can look at problems in different ways in order to find new solutions, better solutions, or just different solutions. Oh, thank you, Leslie. Oh, okay. Leslie. Leslie. Leslie Brick. Oh, my baby. She's the littlest one. And I don't believe that I've had her really on this channel, so you're just very lucky you got to see her. She doesn't usually come in when I record. It's usually socks. But anyway, um, so yeah, that's what I had for you today. Leslie kind of came through and got the rant stopped, but I'd already gotten pretty much what I wanted to say out there. If you are plus size, God bless you. You already have to go through so much more, and now hopefully you can understand why you have to deal with people being so silly just about you existing. Maybe that gives you a little insight. And if you're not plus size, please understand the fitness industry has a vested monetary incentive to lie to you and tell you that it is just as easy as making a decision and you can be whatever body shape you want. That isn't how it works. And it doesn't matter how much money you pay. It's very, very rare for a person who is overweight to be able to lose all the weight and keep it off for any length of time. And so I hereby free you from that goal. Don't worry about a number on a scale unless the doctor tells you to. Always listen to your doctor. But don't worry about a number on a scale. Worry about other markers of fitness. Worry about your stamina. Worry about your flexibility. Worry about your speed and strength and things like that. Because I can tell you, weight does not mean that you can't be active and fit and healthy. It just doesn't. And so don't let someone tell you, what it's the whole thing, like a fat woman goes to a gym and she gets criticized for being fat at the gym, but then a fat woman is out in public and they're like, go to a gym, like there isn't a right answer. You can't do it in such a way that they'll be pleased, okay? And so just be yourself. You can't please these people. So here, I relieve you of the burden of trying to please the unpleasable. All right? Well, Leslie is not going to take it any longer. I need to pet this cat, apparently. So, by the way, her name is Leslie Purden. She's a sweet, southern, sassy girl named after Leslie Jordan, who I believe it's just would have been his birthday. So maybe that's why she came in to say hey. She wanted to name drop her namesake. So be a Leslie Jordan, all right? He didn't care. He was happy being who he was. He didn't have a normal look about him, but he had an amazing life, and so can you. So take care of yourselves. Love ya. This cat. Bye.